Have you ever stopped to think about why some men leave this deep, lasting impression, while others just kind of fade from memory almost as soon as they're gone? Let's get into this because it's probably not for the reasons you think.
It's really not about being the loudest guy in the room, or having the best looks, or even the funniest jokes. No, the real answer, it goes so much deeper. It's about a certain kind of character, this quiet strength that just echoes long after he's left.
So you basically got two paths. On one hand, you have the reactive man. This is the guy who's always chasing approval, over-explaining himself, just hoping he gets picked. But then you have the stoic man. He just moves differently. He's got this quiet confidence because he isn't trying to be chosen. He simply is. It all comes from an ancient philosophy, Stoicism, which is all about focusing on what you can actually control, your own mind, your own character, instead of freaking out about things you can't. And that authenticity, man, it's magnetic.
So how do we actually build this kind of unforgettable character? Well, here's our game plan. First, we'll nail down what makes the unforgettable man. Then, we'll look at the two sides of his strength, the foundations of his inner peace, and then how that strength shows up on the outside. And finally, we'll talk about the legacy he leaves behind.
Okay, first up, the unforgettable man. And here's the thing you have to get right away. His impact doesn't come from some big grand gesture. Nope. It all boils down to a feeling, that profound sense of safety and respect and peace that he creates. That's what gets etched into memory.
All right, let's get to the core of it all, the foundations of inner peace. You know, everything that makes a man memorable, his presence, his strength, his actions, it all starts on the inside. It begins with mastering his own internal world.
Just think about it for a second. When most guys feel rejected or disrespected, what's their first instinct? To react, right? With anger, with arguments, with defensiveness. The stoic man, he does the exact opposite. He stays calm, right in the center of the storm.
And this is where the Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius just nails it. You have power over your mind, not external events. Realize this, and you'll find strength. He gets that his real power isn't in trying to control other people, it's in controlling his own response. That realization, that's the source of his unshakable strength.
So how does he actually do it? Well, it's not magic. It's a really simple but powerful process. Instead of just lashing out, he creates a little space. First, he breathes. Then, he just observes the situation, without judgment, and only then does he choose to respond with calm precision. That control, it makes people feel safe. And that feeling is absolutely unforgettable.
We live in a world where it feels like everyone is just shouting to be heard, right? In that kind of world, true, deep listening, it's become a superpower. The unforgettable man doesn't just sit there waiting for his turn to talk. He offers his full, undivided presence.
And that silence? It sends an incredibly powerful message. You matter enough for me to just be silent and listen. It's this deep form of respect that makes the other person feel truly seen, truly understood. Real connection isn't built by talking, it's built by listening like this.
You know, you often see a person's true character not in how they start things, but in how they end them. So when things don't work out, when he's rejected, how does he handle it?
In these moments, the normal response is chaos. Begging, arguing, desperate texts. You know the drill. The expectation from everyone is drama.
But the stoic man just completely flips that expectation. He wishes her well, and he walks away. Not with anger, but with dignity. And that quiet mastery leaves a huge mark, because he proved his self-worth was never tied to her validation in the first place. He belongs to himself.
So that brings us to the next piece of the puzzle, expressions of outer strength. Because that inner peace we've been talking about, it doesn't just stay hidden inside, it has to come out. It naturally projects outward, and it becomes this form of undeniable strength that other people can actually see and feel.
A stoic man's life doesn't revolve around a person, it revolves around a purpose. He has goals, something he's building, a direction that guides him every single day. That mission is his center of gravity.
You can almost picture his life like this. His mission is the biggest piece of the pie. Yeah, relationships are important, of course, but they're a part of his world, not the whole world. This structure gives him this incredible certainty, and people are just naturally drawn to someone with a clear direction.
And look, as the philosopher Epictetus pointed out, following a mission means you're not always going to make sense to other people. He said, "If you want to improve, be willing to be thought foolish and stupid. You have to be willing to forge your own path. And that powerful internal drive is what's so attractive. He isn't easily distracted because his life is already full. Passion and excitement are great, but they can fade. A sense of calm, that endures. Because he's so grounded internally, his very presence has this stabilizing effect on other people. He brings balance, not drama. He creates a space where people feel safe enough to just be themselves.
Okay, this one is huge. Silent forgiveness. And it's so important to understand what this really means. It's not about saying, hey, what you did was okay. Not at all. It's about him declaring internally, what you did no longer has power over me. Instead of clinging to bitterness or wanting revenge, the Stoic man just lets it go.
And this is the ultimate expression of that strength. Marcus Aurelius said it best. The best revenge is to be unlike your enemy. See, instead of trying to control or punish other people, he focuses on mastering himself. He chooses to be better, not bitter. And that is true power.
So let's bring this all home in our final section, the Stoic legacy. After mastering his inner world and expressing it on the outside, what's the lasting impact? It's the quiet, unshakable strength of his character, something he built piece by piece over time.
So, who is this unforgettable man? He's the one who controls his emotions. He listens with his full presence. He walks away in peace. He lives for a purpose, radiates calm, and forgives without bitterness. He's probably not the loudest guy in the room, but his strength is felt by everyone.
And if you take away only one thing, let it be this. His confidence is internal. It's built on his character, his virtues, his commitment to his own path. He isn't trying to win other people over. He's focused on mastering himself. And that right there is precisely what makes him so unforgettable. So as we finish up, it's worth asking yourself this question. What is the source of your strength? Is it dependent on what other people think, on external validation, or is it being built day by day from within? The answer to that question will define the impression you leave on the world.